So this is the iPhone 6s, released back in September 2015. This thing will be celebrating its 7th birthday. So, should you still buy the iPhone X in 2021? Well, let's find out and let's get started. First of all, as usual, we are going to be taking a look at the specs. The iPhone 6s features a A9 processor, 2GB of RAM, which honestly isn't that much in today's standards. But we are going to be talking all about that, what this means in performance section. So the iPhone 6s featured the 16, 32, 64 and 128GB of storage, which is a pretty nice range. But honestly, my personal device was only 32GB and I always struggled with space as I did not delete any of my photos or videos. I just hope you're not like me. And a key consideration, as the storage on the iPhone 6s isn't expandable. The screen is 4.7 inches, has a resolution of 750 by 1334 and a brightness of 550 nits. Following on, the battery is rated at 1750 mAh and the 6 display is slightly heavier than the 7 at 143 grams. But in general, specs are less important on an iPhone as they are well optimized. And well, they are definitely something to look for. But if you're into numbers, you should just go for the Android side of things. On the iOS side of things, I think significantly less because Apple has resourced to optimize every single of their devices. With that said, I don't know how truthful it will be 5 years down the line. Well, let's find out together. Following on, we have the build quality on the 6s. It is pretty solid. It features the union body design, which features the same 7000 series aluminum that we saw on the iPhone 7. Of course, this does mean that we don't have wireless charging. And on the front, we have a screen with a protective layer on the screen, which Apple claims that it reduces cracking and scratches. But glass is glass and glass break. I have dropped it a few times, but it's still in one piece. Wait, don't get me wrong, it might be better, but realistically, it won't be able to survive every fall. So I always just suggest using a case. And also the iPhone 6s has a protruding camera lens, which is a camera bump, which isn't pure sapphire unlike the 7 and later. Now this is a problem because the scratch lens can cause a lot of issues with the camera. So I highly recommend using a case. Despite some tests whether it's submerged in water for an hour or over, the iPhone 6s has no official IP rating. So if you don't want to risk your phone, just don't take it to a shower. What else is water? The ocean. Just don't take it there. Overall, well, that's awesome. Shortcoming, Apple did a really good job in building this phone. There was no bending issues like we saw in the worldwide iPhone 6. And the high quality aluminum is a nice touch overall. The 6s lens became much stronger and had a more premium feel. Next up, we have the screen. As I said in the spec section, the iPhone 6s has a 4.7 inch screen with a resolution of 750 by 1334. It is a 9 by 16 ratio, which is pretty nice for watching YouTube videos because still people don't film their videos in 2 by 1 aspect ratio. In the real world, the brightness is mostly fine other than direct sunlight or bright days. But most of the time, it's bright enough with a very nice level of contrast of 1400 and a nice amount of saturation is really nice for watching videos or playing games. There is, however, one of the standout features of the iPhone 6s is the screen was truly innovative for the time. 3D Touch Essential allows for different actions based on how hard the user presses on the screen, just like the trackpads on newer MacBook. At first, I did not use this feature as much. I just thought it's a cool feature and it will be there. But when I actually started to use it, it was kind of amazing. Certain tasks like opening camera app on Instagram, having quick access to music, and most of being scrolling through my text by pressing the space bar is so useful. Up until I actually started using 3D Touch, I have been highlighting different points of text messaging that magnifying bubble. I found out I could use my keyboard as a trackpad to adjust my cursor. My mind was made up and I generally think it would be hard for me to go back to a system without it. As for how it works on the iPhone 6s, it feels really nice and tactile, responsive well, and overall, it's one of my favorite features on the phone. After this, we get to the button placement. In general, Apple is one of the best in the game in the regards. I'm pleased to say, even on the phone this age, the iPhone 6s is no exception. They are logically mapped out nice and tactile and include even essential mute switch. Like seriously, every phone on the market should have the mute switch. It is just so nice to able to mute your phone without having to take it out of your pocket. And on the iPhone 6s, it is easy as ever. And the lock button is located at the side of the phone. And because of the home button, there isn't any complex combination. Just click to lock and hold to turn off. And speaking of home button, this phone is the last phone to feature the mechanical home button, as the iPhone 7 and 8 have a touch sensor, which gives the feeling that you're clicking a real button because of the Taptic engine. But in reality, it is just a sensor. And Touch ID also works great and very rarely it misses out. And while the home button may be old technology, but still is very useful. And another feature in which the iPhone 6s was the last to feature was the headphone jack. When I'm using my modern iPhone 7 or the 11, I don't really miss it out because most of the time I'm using wireless headphones or I just use it when I'm shooting my YouTube videos. So I just plug in my mic using the dongle. And using adapter isn't a huge deal. It is just really nice to able to just plug in and use your high quality wired headphones. And this is an important feature to a lot of people. Overall, it is very good. Following on, we have the most important feature on a smartphone, the camera. In terms of specs, the iPhone 6s features a 12 megapixel main camera with an aperture of 2.2, and honestly it is pretty good. But do keep in mind, when the iPhone 6s was released, there wasn't an option for dual camera just yet. This came with the iPhone 7 Plus. This also means that there's no portrait mode, which is basically synthetic lighting with blurry background. Fake blurry background. In all honesty, the second camera isn't that important for some casual snaps. And as long as you're not trying to take the pictures of a moon or get some crazy like bokeh of f1.2 on a camera. Yeah, because it lacks the portrait mode, they are not going to be available on the 6s. Realistically, for casual snaps, the iPhone 6s does pretty well. In terms of overall colors, the iPhone 6s does a pretty good job. In fact, I'll be making a full video on the iPhone 6s camera. So if you're watching this late after 2-3 weeks, it'll be up here in the iCard. So stay tuned. And I basically found that the colors look pretty good. Certainly enough for photos of friends or social media. And if you really want to up your quality and save yourself from buying a point and shoot, you can just install Lightroom or Snapseed. Color grade your images and easily take your photos to the next level. Dynamic range is okay, not to the standards of the new iPhones, but certainly usable. In terms of front facing camera, the iPhone 6s features a 5 megapixel camera and it's totally fine for some selfies, but it's nowhere close to the rear camera. Colors again look pretty good, and overall I really believe that if you just want a visible option, if you just don't want to spend a ton of money on buying a point and shoot or DSLR or mirrorless camera, nice, portable with a good battery life, and in that case the iPhone 6s checks all the boxes. Moving on into videos. For the iPhone 6s series being the first phone series to shoot in 4K videos with a rear camera. With official support from Apple now, it was limited with the physical sensor, which have its own limitations. However, with some tweaking and post-production, you can get these images from this to fairly look like this. But the stock app is kind of limited, as it don't allow you to change the frame rate or the bit rate to get the most out of your camera. However, this can be done with some third-party apps. My personal favorite are ProTake, ProMovie and Filmic Pro. It works great, and it gives you much better camera control, camera shutter speed, white balance, frame rate, bit rate, manual focus and a lot more. I'm not even sponsored to say this, but I just really like these apps. The iPhone 6s can also do slow-mo at 120 frames at 1080p and 240 frames in 720p. I personally recommend setting it to 120 frames as the footage is significantly higher quality, but in some cases if you just need the ultra slow motion, you should just go for the 720p. There is a usual hit on continuous autofocus and dynamic range, but it is certainly not a point where it's unusable. Especially, it won't be destroying any of those flagship smartphone cameras in today's standards. And if you really want to get some nice images, of course there is Lightroom, Snapseed, and if you want some videos, of course there is ProTake and other apps here. But overall, we can get nice looking images on the iPhone 6s. So next is the OS and app performance. It might test in with media services like YouTube and all games like PUBG, Clash of Clans. The iPhone 6s very much works in 2021. This rarely drops frames and it rarely crashes. Now of course, gaming performance will vary on the games you play. Me personally, I like to play some casual games like Candy Crush, Subway Surfer and Clash of Clans. But if you want to play some more hardware intensive games like PUBG, Free Fire, Fortnite, performance may not be as good. As far as social media goes, the iPhone 6s works still great, as the iPhone theme goes in general, and with apps like Instagram, Twitter, everything works smooth from the camera to the storage, everything works great. The iPhone 6s is actually running iOS 15, which is insane as it was released back in 2015 with the iOS 9. Until date, it's working absolutely fine. Everything feels snappy from the UI to the app performance, but everything feels snappy from the UI, does not lag, and overall the user experience in 2021 is pretty good. Now if you're following the traditional Apple cycle, the iPhone gets 5 years of latest software updates. But this thing got 7 years of software updates. So obviously this is the last version for the 6s. Moving on, we have the battery life. This iPhone 6s has a battery health of 80%. And I said in the specs section that the iPhone 6s battery is rated at 1750 mAh. But how does it translate in real world usage? From day-to-day usage in apps like Instagram, iMessages, music and occasionally YouTube, I can generally get around 5 hours. This phone never stranded me alone without a charger. I found it totally usable in the real world. There was no day where I had to go out with a flat battery. However, on media heavy days with tasks like YouTube, this decreases significantly. On some days, it won't even make it to 2 PM. In summary, if you're going to be away from your charger for more than 5 hours, then you can just say goodbye, as it is most likely to be flat. And if you like your media you should carry a charger or a power bank. Okay, so we talked about the headphone jack, but how does the built-in speaker sound? The iPhone 6s has a single downward 5-inch speaker. Although it's not very good, but it's totally fine for some casual listening. A quick description for the sound quality. The speakers will be vocal standard and there will not be much bass. If you want the best quality of audio, you can just plug in your wired headphones or the speakers will just do the job. Overall, the iPhone 6s till this date is considered as a landmark phone. And there are a few things to consider. Mainly, how long do you want to keep it? And if you want to keep it, for how long, it's upon you. Otherwise, this iPhone is better than it has rights to be. Almost 7 years old, and even in 2021, I much enjoyed using this phone. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you like this video, do hit the like button and don't forget to smash that subscribe button because I make iPhone and Apple related videos. So if you're in that, do consider subscribing. And don't forget to comment down below what are your thoughts on the iPhone 6s. Did you use it? Did you own it? How long did you use it for? Did you have it? So yeah. So with that all being said, I'm Alon signing off and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. I started to shoot at 5:15 or 5:20 and now it is 8:35. Bro, I'm editing this video after 2 months and you shot this video 2 months ago. What are you blubbering now? Just shut up.